being retired judge. I'm gonna mix it up a little bit. Normally, my main thing is talking about addiction as a disease, and I make everybody stand up and say, you know, addiction is a disease. Now I'm going to ask everybody to stand up real quick and introduce yourself to at least 2 other people in the room quickly and tell them that they matter and their families matter, meaning their loved ones matter.
What am I doing?
Hey, Brenda, can you come here a minute? Yeah, please. I got enough time, right? I can condense what I'm doing. I'm going to add. You know, people matter.
Good, yeah.
And what I'm going to talk about is, come on, Brenda. I'm going to talk about specialized dockets. And last year when I did my breakout, my opening statement in my breakout was, I'd really like to shut this down, this event, because I'd rather not see people going to prison and have to re-enter. I'm going to make up statistics, but I'd say 60 to 70% of the people that are in our prison system shouldn't be there. They should be in a program in their community. You know.
Yeah.
These ladies just talked about tapestry. Yes, tapestry is needed, but I still bet they would tell you 50% of the people that they work with should have been doing a tapestry in their local community. Not in a prison setting. And that's the mistake our society's going. Now, because of the numbers, not as many people broke out. And so I have ladies that are, you know, ladies do everything. Us guys just talk. On my left, your right, is Brenda Stewart from the Addicts Parents United. She provides support to families. She has closed pages for people that have a family member in addiction and need that support. And then she has a closed page for a family member that they've lost. Sadly enough, I can be in both. My girlfriend's lost one and has one sitting in the Franklin County Jail. So I on a personal level, I can match it both. I'm going to give Brenda the mic for just a minute. No, I'm not. Okay, she just looked at me. No, you're not. And then on my right, on your left, she had the breakout of
Advocating for families.
which would be as similar to the Addicts Parents United. Can you summarize in a minute or two how you advocate for families? She hates me already.
I'm not a public speaker. However, I am the wife of someone who has been incarcerated for 25 years. I do a lot of advocating for him. Currently, he just got a 6-year flop at the parole. So we have done a lot of advocating against the parole board. But we also hired an attorney. I speak for families that maybe their incarcerated loved one has a medical issue, how to speak to the prison officials, how to go about contacting the prisons, what they need to, things they need to know, their rights maybe they don't have, and things like that.
Thank you. I'll let you ladies sit back down. I just thought it was important to share, you know, what these 2 ladies are providing to some of you as individuals and some of your family members. Now I'm going to go to a little bit of where I've been in life, because you have to have a little bit of a background to know why I do what I do and why I do a lot with the Addicts Parents United, why I care about what you're here for today. I was a prosecutor for 15 years, and then I was a judge for 20. In 2001, a very smart lady from the Ohio Supreme Court, Justice Stratton, came to me and said, "Here, Scotty, start a mental health court." It took me 2.5 years because, as everybody in the room knows, stubborn old judges don't change very quickly. And it was hard to get 6 or 7 other judges in Franklin County to agree with me and have a mental health docket. We started a mental health docket in 2004. In 2009, we started a drug court. In 2010, we started a heroin docket. Strangely enough, that's how I ended up meeting my girlfriend, and then eventually dating her, and then living through a loss of a loved one and watching a loved one go to prison, get out of prison, go to jail, get out of jail, go to jail, get out of jail. The cycle that our system has. And in 2015, running all 4 of those dockets, the mental health court, the drug court, the heroin court, and we started the veterans court in 2012, I said, you know what, I'm looking around and there's just not enough counties. I wanted to ask the ladies almost, what county do you work in, like Hamilton County?
No, I work in Butler County.
Butler, you're right next door.
Yes.
Butler has a drug court, a common pleas drug court, I know that. I don't know about a
I work in
municipal
Clinton County as well, which has a drug court.
court as well.
I'm in Montgomery.
Okay. And so then, first, I'm going to talk about for a minute, what is a specialized docket? Instead of just going to court and being convicted, and we know 90% of the time, nobody goes to trial, it's a plea. You can do a plea bargain, the judge says you're on community control, what we used to call probation. You're placed on probation, you go see your probation officer once a month. And I'm not saying that probation departments haven't gotten more and more progressive in providing services. But to me, what is wonderful about a specialized docket is you have to go see that judge once a week. And it's not me, and I'm retired, but when I had the black robe, it's the relationship you establish. It's getting to know Amy, it's getting to know Stacy, and having them come in and talk about their sister or their brother, or talk about Amy's back surgery and how she's doing with that, and what medicines the doctor's giving her during her surgery, and making sure you have a relationship with that judge. You know, I used to say, don't blow smoke up my hind end. I said, be honest with me, and as long as you're honest, you got to go out that door, front door. But if you weren't honest with me, you went out the back door. I call it treatment with accountability. I'm not saying that somebody shouldn't spend a week, 10 days, maybe 30 days in the county jail. But most people don't need to spend a year, 2, 3, and especially if it's an addiction, and you're talking about an F4 or 5, which simply you possessed cocaine or heroin or pills, you should not be in prison. You should be in a treatment type setting through a specialized docket. Most of the time I'm saying drug court, but Ms. Bagley, where are you? Talked to her at the beginning, and she's an advocate, and we talked about mental health. And we talked about, before this started, and we talked about how a relative had mental health issues. A mental health court can help provide that versus, again, sending someone to prison. So, now I'm looking, and it's 2015, and only 25% of courts have a specialized docket. And so I say, I'm going to give up the next 4 years on my term. Idiot me, I'm jumping off a 10-story building. I'm going to start a nonprofit, and the goal of my nonprofit is to go around Ohio and then to other states and start drug courts. The sad thing that I've learned over the last 3 years that I knew before is, and everybody in this room knows it too, back there on Brenda's board, right in the middle, I got great eyesight from a distance, but it's got something that says stigma on it. I don't know the full sentence, but the stigma that, is there anybody in the room that wouldn't raise your hand if you felt that stigma? whether it's your relative or you, I almost feel like everybody in the room, if they're paying attention, would raise their hand. Because if you're in this room, you've felt the stigma of society. You're less than. No, you're not. You're a human being like everybody else. And that's what we have to keep saying. I'm sure that's part of what Tapestry, teaches. I'm sure the next speaker, that'll be part of, I see her shaking her head. They're chit-chatting over here. I'm sure that's part of what you would say too, is get away from the stigma, right? Okay. That's what we have to do. We have to, as a whole society, join addiction services, join mental health services with the legal system and have a different legal system down the road. And I know I'm speaking to the choir because I know you all disagree or agree with that. Oh shoot, I didn't bring my briefcase up here. I'm going to walk and talk because there's something I want to get. I did a study. Hopefully you can pay attention while I'm walking toward my briefcase. But last week I pulled the numbers from the Supreme Court where there's specialized dockets and looked at that compared to the overdose rates. And Brenda and I talk about it. It's a family disease. And so every weekend for the last 2 years, I have been raising a 2-year-old. Brenda and Mark have raised multiple of their grandchildren, correct? And it's part of the system and part of what's happening. But I looked, so my point was the 2-year-old has water erasable crayons. So I got a pink one, a red one, and a purple one. And I circled first the counties that had no specialized docket, and there were about 20 counties with that red. Then I circled purple for municipal courts, and there are about 40 counties that have no municipal court, drug court. And then there was about 20 counties that had no common pleas specialized docket. Now, I'm leaving out, you can have a juvenile court specialized docket, or you can have a family court. A family court is one where a child has been removed by children's services and the parents have to do certain things, and that court will work with the parent. The juvenile one would work with the juveniles. And where should we work most? It should be with our juveniles to help them before they ever get to adult court. Sadly enough, my organization just helped in Benton County start 3 new courts. One in juvenile court, one in common pleas court, and one what you call muni court. Benton County is called a county court. It's a small county. But the reason why I point that out is, can anybody guess how many juvenile court drug courts there are in Ohio? Somebody? Give me a shot in the middle here. Guess for me. You're almost right on. 18. We helped start the 18th one. How many counties are in Ohio? 88. We all got that one right. We got that part. Think about that. Only 18 out of 88 are helping our juveniles